Welcome again to another episode of We Are Game on YouTube channel. I have with me Miss Kathy Gardner. For those of you who have attended the We Are Game Summer Institute in the past, you are very familiar with Miss Kathy Gardner, but I will let her introduce herself. So we'll go ahead and get started, but we're happy to have Kathy with us today, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you, David. It's a pleasure being here. I do appreciate it.
So you've met with some of our viewers before, but can you kind of give a background of who you are, what you do?
Well, basically, what I do, David, is when I'm sitting down with a new client, for sure, I sit down and I take some information from them. I try to figure out, how much money is coming into the household. I design a plan to reduce or eliminate their debt. And then I also want to help them with some short-term savings, emergency savings. I want them to do that and get proper protection. I work with that. Also, wealth management. If I have a family, I want to design that they will not only have enough money for themselves, but when they leave this earth, that they will be able to pass it on. So I'm into making sure that we preserve their wealth and through legacy, pass it on through wills and trusts.
And can you talk a little bit about how you got involved in this area of this professional endeavor?
Well, one of the things is I started when I was about 21 years old, I started helping families design their retirement goals. They were coming to me with such things as, Kathy, what do I do with my 401k? Or, if they were working at the post office, they had some other type of vehicles like a 403b or anything like that, thrift savings plans. And they said, well, what am I supposed to do with this money? And that's when I said, I need to be more prepared. So I got my life insurance license, my securities license, so that I could help advise in a better way. And so that's what I did. So, and that happened about 10 years ago. Well, one of the first things I do, Dave, is when I get first introduced or referred to a client, I sit down and devise a financial needs analysis. I do a plan to find out where they want to go. I need to hear about their dreams and goals. And then I devise a financial plan for them to get there. So I look at the cash flow. I also look at how much their debt is involved. I like to reduce their debt or eliminate it. Me personally, that is one of my bias. I like to live a debt-free life. And so I want to make sure that happens. I also would like for them to be able to have some emergency money for about 6 months to 1 year. However, with this COVID thing going on, you may need more than 6 months. I think the COVID's been going on for about 8 months now. So can you imagine not having any source of money coming in for 8 months? So that's really, really stretching our American families on their emergency funds. And then making sure they have proper protection for in the case the worst case scenario happen. I know that I had some friends who have some family members who have passed away also during this time. And so making sure the families are properly protected. Want to create some wills and trust, make sure that we can preserve your estate, because if you end up dying and not planning the right day to die on, that you go, oh my God, I got too much money in the bank. And then what we're going to do with that money to pass it on to the next generation, and wealth preservation and creating legacy. So I do all of that on a daily basis, and all clients are in different phases of their life. Some are in the accumulation phase of their life. They're accumulating money, putting money away in their saving vehicles. And then there are some already in their distribution phase of their life, which means they're taking out of their financial products and living on that. So just the maintenance of working with those clients like that.
In working with those clients that you have, what type of advice would you give to our We Are Game athletes as they're going through their various journeys, either through high school or entering college or on the backside of college? What advice would you give them as far as taking care of themselves financially and maintaining a financially healthy life?
Well, that's a great, great question. I would tell them all, number one, start watching how much money you spend, start watching where you spend money, and then also ask yourself why I'm spending the money. I think that's one of that will be crucial, because sometimes you may be spending money because someone else is asking you to spend money. Like you go to the club or you go to, you may go for a burger or something. Someone say, hey, can you get this for me? Why are you always the one getting it for someone? That would be one of the things I'll be watching out for. And then just note that when you graduate from college, every single day, is one thing you're going to take from you is you will be spending money every day, some form of fashion. Whether you're going to buy a song on your laptop or your phone, you're going to be either taking or spending, one or the other. You're going to be earning money or spending money. And so the person who's going to be the most wealthy on the other end is the person who controls both of those, the spending and the earning. And so I would ask them to, number two, to also monitor reducing, trying to get in debt. There sometimes I think they have tried to stop the predatory lending for students, giving credit cards and things out like that. I would say try to avoid that as much as possible, uh, that you don't get in debt. But coming out of school or college with 80 and $100,000 in debt, two or 300,000, that's one of the things I see when I'm sitting down with the clientele between 25 and 35. So I know you have to go to college. I know you have to have a way to pay for it. If you could consider a lesser expensive way, such as community college or going to a 4-year college that is close to you, or be super, super smart while you're still in high school and get a scholarship so that you can help your parents out, but not only help your parents, you help yourself so you won't be in debt. I see a lot of students who have their payback, their repayment plan for the college debt is like $1,000 a month. And that could be for some people a house note, a mortgage. So I would make sure that you look at that too. So while our We Are Game students are, some of them are very young. We're starting, I think, at high school. I think Alan and Joyce want to go a little bit younger. We want to capture them a little bit younger so we can teach them some financial strategies and some financial skills. These are some of the things that we will really be hitting on. Get a scholarship, do very, very well, and so that we can, keep the debt down for you. Because you don't want that dragging into you. That'll force you to go get a job that you may not want so that you can start reducing that debt.
What
Yes.
advice would you give someone? Of course, we're recording this now. They might not hear it for a while, but they might have made these mistakes in the past. What would you say to someone who might be in a little bit of debt or took those predatory um, signed on a dotted line and got a credit card early on, and now they might be see themselves in a little bit of debt, but they want to get up above it before it gets too crazy? What type of advice, or would you tell them to go talk to someone, or what type of advice would you give them to get back on track to where they need to be to have a financially healthy life?
Well, I do have a bias. So right now, I'm going to say that if you are in financial debt, and I don't know what you would consider how much is financial debt, but if you're in, two or 3,000, $20,000 of debt, that is not a financial suicide. So don't commit financial suicide. I would say don't file bankruptcy. Don't let someone say, "Oh, you can start over in 10 to 15 years." That's not cool. You can reduce the debt. You can come and sit down with a professional. They will show you how to reduce the debt and get out of debt as quickly as possible without it scarring your credit report and your credit rating for life. And I think, such hard avenues would be filing bankruptcy. That would be, of course, the worst one. So if you have a couple of collections or a couple of lates, we can work with that. And over time, we'll reduce that because we don't want you to be paying a whole lot of interest on your debt. And that's another thing that will create a method that you will be hard to get over with. You want to be able to afford things, and you don't want to be paying 15 and 20%, 29.99% on buying some jeans that you thought you purchased them on sale. That's not a sales price. You find out, oh my God, the jeans were 100, 125, but by the time you paid it off, it was $500. That's a no-no.
What about some of our older We Are Game graduates? What type of advice would you give them now that they're starting their first professional careers and they're moving along? What type of advice would you give them? Save $5 a day or save $1 a day, or what would you tell them to kind of get in that mindset of just like a two a days or whatever else they do to prepare for the season? They have to prepare for their lifetime and financially. What type of advice would you give them
Uh,
in that realm?
Well, first, I would like to give a shout out to all the ones that have called me and say, Miss Kathy, thank you. I'm on my way to college and I just, pray for me. I got some calls. I got some calls afterwards. They graduated. I just got a call the other day from one of the guys in the program. And what should I do? I saved up a couple of dollars. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I am so grateful that you have saved up a couple of dollars. And although at this particular time I can't tell you where to put your money, I can say that let's set up a saving vehicle so that you can get the most amount out of that savings. So because each product is for a different person, it's going to be used a certain way, and so your financial professional will help you design the plan on where to put it exactly. But I'm so glad you're saving. I am so happy you're saving.
What are some final things that you would like to tell us about either yourself or anything else to help us on our journey to be financially healthy? The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Well, thank you very much. That's a long floor right there. I would like to say congratulations first. Congratulations to all our student athletes. And I would like to say thank you uh, to Alan and to George for having such an incredible program in which we invite students to come and let us help them with many different people over many different professions. And so we have people in the background. We have people like Karen who's helping out. We have Kevin Keys that's there. We have the Gilroys and for some spiritual development and things that help develop your faith, not only in the Creator, but also faith in yourself. You need to have that to know that you can get the job done, and that we're all a human. I used to always say, people, why we always have to say we're all a human? Because some of us want to think we God. So that just reminds us that we're frail and we're fragile, but it doesn't mean that there are not people here to assist you. I'm one of the professionals here to help you with your financial journey, and that I want you to start saving. I want you to start saving now. And I want you to know that uh, there's much for you to do also. There's much for you to do. So you need to be successful, not only first for yourself, but for your family. Your family is depending on you to be successful because no one wants to have to take care of another additional person. And I want you to stay focused. I want you to be determined and know that you can get the job done. But that just because you have a goal and you get to that goal, that there's something bigger than that goal. There's always have to be a bigger goal, and so that it keep you doing the right thing all the time. So I hope that some of these things will help keep you and encourage you and motivate you to stay in the game. Just stay in the game. We are game. Stay in the game. Stay in the game.
Thank you very much for spending time with us. This is another episode of We Are Game. We're happy to have you here. Please subscribe to our channel so you can get up-to-date information on all of our new guests to come join us and our new videos that we post. So again, thank you, Kathy, for joining us for another episode. And we appreciate all the insights you've given us for how to become healthier financially. So thank you again for your time.
Yes.